Ooh. Ooh, okay. Not wrong. Giant fish monster probably shouldn't be trusted. I know it sounds a little racist, but hey, we all have a little racial slur in us when it comes to calling her fishy, I guess. But yeah, probably true. Did her parents and her family want to die? No, they were truly happy and it got snatched away. It's cruel. It's like, if you truly want to fucking be with your family, you gotta have the same thing happen. You gotta be truly happy if you want to die, because it's true, like, when people reach their end, they're scared because they're happy. Like, sometimes you know it's approaching, you're dying in a hospital bed or whatever. But that's a hell of a way to get it through to her. And if it is between her taking her own life and her doing it, I guess, yeah, she would rather do it herself. Hopefully this means that she gets to a very long lifespan. But at the same time, we are dealing with a monster who might actually honor that request in the future. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Oh boy, yeah, that's our video. Make sure you drop a like, share, support, subscribe if you're new around here. Patreon's where you're going to catch my full live reactions to all some more if you also want to help fund the channel. Videos just like these. So, in all my years watching anime and watching things in general, it's very rare for me to come out of a show, and we still have one episode left, mind you, and have me say this show truly understands depression. And I'm not saying there's not ways to write a conclusion where characters are no longer depressed for the most part and actually want to succeed and want to live. But when you're dealing with a suicidal girl, by the end of episode 12 or 13, I don't think we should get to that point, unless it's a very surface level show where the person's trauma was, I stubbed my toe. A girl who's dealt with losing everything and basically thought she was living because the ghosts of her family were keeping her alive, only for that to be a lie. And to have the mermaid who lied to you about killing you, that's a girl who should want to end it all right there. And right here, this girl, this mermaid Shiori, we come out of the second to last episode with her saying, I don't know how to save her. Like, she begged and pleaded, for the love of God, do not die. And at every step of the way, she got pushed back. Every time she looked at her, she said, no, I want to die. And she says, I want you to live. And she says, I don't give a shit. She basically told her to fuck off. That no matter what you say, I want to die. Now, there's a couple of options in a moment like this. I think if you look at it from a realistic point of view, you have her omitted. You do. Now, that's a controversial statement to some people for some reason. But if it gets to a point where the person doesn't want to be medicated and doesn't want to seek therapy or help, and they are truly a harm to themselves or potentially others, you omit them. You get them to some sort of psychiatric help where they monitor them before getting released. I have a friend, I'm not going to out them name anyway, but they've omitted themselves because they knew they were a danger to themselves, right? It's not something to be ashamed or push back against, but we're watching an anime with monsters. So there's unique ways to tackle this type of depression. And the solution Shiori comes up with ties back to the beginning promise. I'm going to eat you. Now, you may want to say, how does that make any sense, right? Because at the end of the day, I mean, what really changes by doing the promise? But this time, there's no lies, at face value anyway. And I don't think she wants to. I think from Shiori's point of view, if she has to someday, she will, even though she tastes disgusting to her because of the whole blood sharing thing. But also, it's just a way to buy time. There's no solution that will keep her trying to live other than having something remove the gun from her hand. Instead, we're going to point the gun towards her. And like I said, realistically, this would not be the solution. Admitting someone to a psych ward would be at this stage if they refuse to get medicated or therapy. But the idea of her basically saying, listen, I need you to be happy. Because think about it, and the way she explains it is kind of genius. And I think it really got through to her in this moment. She basically says, like, listen, when your family died, were they miserable or were they happy? And she's like, well, of course they were happy. Exactly. For you to die, you have to... Death only means something when you are kind of at your happiest. Like, if you just die for the sake of dying, like, it's not right. If you really want to honor your family, it gets through to her in a way that I didn't even think was possible. And, of course, Shiori doesn't want to do this, but this is her only option. And I think it goes back to my initial prediction of this show, when we were still humming and hawing what the mermaid represented in the long, picture of the show, was that I said, you know, she might be 80 years old and on her deathbed, Shiori will eat her. And I still think that is now a possibility. But I also think it's an entire possibility she no longer wants to die come later in the arcs. I mean, really, the goal was to keep her alive that night and mission successful, but the idea that someone who doesn't want to live and is suicidal, this is the correct option. If we can get her to actually be happy someday, like truly want to live, do I believe in my heart Shiori would still keep that promise and kill her there? No. Because if you break someone's heart and you betray that promise to someone who's happy and want to live, they may still cut her off, as broken as their mind is, but they ain't gonna jump at that point, and that's the goal, is to keep her around. Which is why, as much as Little Miss Fox is pissed off with her, she also can't come up with a better solution. Tying it back to the initial promise, but without much lies, because I think if you look at it from Shiori's point of view, I don't think she's lying. She's saying, I will eat her someday, but we have to get her happy. But I guarantee you, if she looks at her not wanting to die anymore, she wouldn't do it. She would gladly break that promise. And I think this is such a bold thing because, well, I know this isn't adapting the full thing, right? The manga is still ongoing from what I understand. Some people say, oh, if we got a season 2, it'd be even better. I am still of the belief ending it as a one-season open-ended would be more satisfying for me. There's certain shows, like, say, Summer Hikaru Dai, where I want to see that continue, and I'm glad it's getting a full adaptation because that's the type of story I want a conclusive ending for. Something dealing with high-functioning depression to this degree, I think I would much prefer it being open-ended, never knowing where it goes and letting my mind race and come up with different solutions. Now, not to say if they didn't make a season 2, I wouldn't watch it. I gladly would. But I definitely think 13 episodes is more satisfying for me personally, but you know, I'm welcome to be proven wrong. There's not many shows that would circle back like this that would be bold enough, because a lot of authors who write about stories, and you see this a lot with romance series, they don't actually have a lot of experience with romance, so the romance feels really weird. Like, hey, anyone who's been in love or has had sex or kissed, like, that's not how this goes. Like, it's very much written by a virgin. Like, that's how it feels. Same thing can be applied for depression. You have to assume the author has either dealt with it, has seen it firsthand, because this isn't an author who just pulled this out of their ass. Like, this is too good to be a fluke accident, you know what I mean? Though I will say, anyone remember in the early stages when people tried to, like, seemingly sorcerers try to say that, hey, there's no Yuri undertones between these two, like, they truly, you don't have to worry about grooming allegations despite her knowing her when she is a child. If you come out of this episode and not say there isn't some undertones here after that kiss sequence, why? Either way, fantastic episode. We got one to go. I think it airs on Christmas. I'm not sure if I'll do it on Christmas because all my Christmas shit is not actually on Christmas. It's on different days. So maybe I will. If not, we'll probably do it on like the Friday or something like that. But either way, great shit. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you agree with me? Some of the craziest shit that you've seen when it comes to handling depression? Let me know. Drop a like, share, support, subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, you know, Patreon full live reactions and exclusives. Like, hey, I love to give video shoutouts to my patrons because I make these videos possible. As today, we got Vitoko, MMK, we got Dunugan, Torna, AJ, Plays World. We also have Rugel Pelagengi. So I appreciate the support. Please take care. You all have a good one.